Hey there, it is September 23rd, and I am looking at Realtor.com to see what listings we have for potential off-grid properties in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. So I'm going to go ahead and search Michigan, and I like to use the map view. So if you zoom in, whatever you show in this box here on the right will be the listings that filter on the left. So I drag down usually, so say Ignis shows, and then I typically like to just look at this eastern portion that goes up to Grand Marais, and I will go ahead and filter for price. There are drop-down options here, but you can type right in what you want. So I'm going to type in 70,000. You can also filter by type. I usually leave that, and I am going to take off pending and contingent, and I like to look for acreage, so I will put in lot size. I will go ahead and do 5 acres minimum, and we have 34 results. And I also am going to do newest listings first to see what exactly is new. So we have a 80-acre lot in McMillan, listed today 2 hours ago for 60,000. Let's take a look at that one. That's near the Seney recreational area there, the wildlife refuge. So they have a few pictures. I'll just take a look at those quick. So it looks like there's a driveway in potentially with looks like a walkway with wood chips or something going on. A deer blind apparently. They have some type of mapping. This might be Onyx Hunt. Yep, Onyx Hunt Elite mapping that shows you who owns what. So there's that. Here is a zoomed out portion. There's the owners, County Road 415 over here. They're giving us the parcel number. That's great. And this is the printed map that the county gets with all the parcels on it. They're showing that. Go ahead and look at the description. So this has an address, it seems like, maybe not. 80 acres north, County Road 415. So I think that's just a description. That's not a true address. And this is a 4-season recreational property with 1/4 mile of road frontage on a year-round gravel road. That is awesome. Good for beer. Good for bear, deer, and grouse hunting. The land is mostly low-lying, wooded acreage with aspen, spruce, cedar, and pine. There's a potential building site along the road. A permitted driveway will culvert improved access to the property, as well as the 8-foot wide mulched path that takes you back to the cleared camping area. The deer blind stays, located 73 miles from Mackinac Bridge and 3 miles north of M28. You can connect to trails from here, and there are good fishing opportunities nearby. The Taquamenon River is just south, centrally located for one of the best snowmobile areas. So that sounds pretty good. It did say mostly low-lying wooded acreage, which means wet. When they say low, they mean wet. And here's the parcel number. You can reach out to, let's see, McMillan, Luce County. So I'm not sure which township. I believe you can reach out to McMillan. Yeah, Luce County. So you can call the Luce County zoning. They should be able to tell you exactly what the zoning is for this one. Looks pretty good. Let me open this map and see what happens. Being that there's no address, sometimes it won't really show you the correct place, but I'm hoping that the realtors can adjust this so that it's accurate. So McMillan, I have heard from our septic guy said McMillan is known to be wet, and you could see why because the Taquamenon River goes through here and all of these things. So you just have to be careful depending on what you're doing, if you're building or whatever. It's definitely wooded. There's some kind of a trail coming through. There's a house here. There used to be, sometimes it seems like you can do flood to see what happens. So you're definitely close on that. So if you want to build, anything more than 200 square foot is required to have a building permit per Michigan guidelines, whether no matter what township you're in or whatever, you meet building code for 200 square foot or more, to my understanding. So if you want to build, you just got to be careful on this one. I would definitely go out and walk it, but we are looking at 80 acres, and that comes out to be, oops, I did it the backwards. I'm trying to do math here. 60,000 divided by 80. So you're looking at 750 an acre, which is really good and a rare thing. But it is wet. It is off the beaten track. It most likely does not have electric. I don't think it said that, did it? Just with what I know about that area, it has a driveway, cleared area. Sometimes it says down here, I'm guessing it's going to be like off grid, like you're totally off grid. But the nice thing is that it's a year-round gravel road, so it'll be plowed in the winter, and you're going to be able, this is a side road, right? So you can ride your snowmobile on it or your four-wheeler on it. It's not an M road, it's 415, so that's good. So this, I think, will get added to the list, though you just have to be careful with water. This little trail's interesting. Maybe they, like, can you make this wider to drive back into the back? I don't know. Yeah, looks like some good potential. And you're close to Newberry, which I'm favorable of because I like to go to the store and get milk, and the hospital is in Newberry, so it's a good location. It's an hour or so from the bridge, which is nice if you're coming from the south. All right, so next we have Pickford, which if you hover on the property, it puts a little white circle. The red circles turn white over here. So this is on the east side of 75 as you're coming up from St. Ignace. So this, when it says new, this means it was listed in the last 7 days. And this is 55,000 for 20 acres. We'll flick through some pictures here. They have a drive-in, which is nice and maintained. A field, so looks like a shed house. Very nice. A wood stove. Something interesting there. Some younger trees planted in rows. That's awesome. Power. Like, just because it's there doesn't mean you have to get it, right? Somebody I work with told me, just because the power's there, she has off-grid property down near Gaylord, and she wishes they never hooked up to the power because now that they have it, they can't get rid of it. So once you go for power, you're going to have a bill whether you use it or not. They charge you a minimum to have it. So this was listed within the last 2 days, so this is very new. 20 acres in Pickford for hunting, outdoor recreation, or building your up north getaway. Includes a small bunkhouse, aka shed house, offering a ready-made spot for weekend stays or hunting camp conveniently located near Dan's Resort for fishing on the river and just a short drive to groceries or other essentials. Whether you're looking for a private retreat, a base camp for adventures, or simply a quiet piece of land to call your own, this parcel also offers it all. So this is nice. This is something that would have been up my line of thinking here. Chippewa County. There's a parcel number. Paved road, electric available. And I am not really familiar with that side of the state. I always meant to go and look, but never did. I like that it's close to the bridge. Let me look at satellite. I feel like there might be, yeah, there's houses in this area. So definitely check the coding, the zoning, not coding, zoning, to make sure that just because the realtor says you can come and be there on weekends and camp and all of this doesn't mean the zoning allows it. So definitely check with Chippewa County and find out what what zoning regulates this parcel to make sure that if you do want to come up and have a camper, or if you want to build a house or whatever, um, I would assume that the small bunkhouse that is there is legitimate, but you never know. Um, a lot of zoning calls out that you may not build an accessory building like a shed to live in as a dwelling, that it has to meet a certain square feet requirement. So like where I am at, I have to have 550 or something square foot as a minimum size requirement. I can't just pull a shed in here and live in it. Even if it's seasonal, they have a seasonal requirement of 550 or something like that, close to that for seasonal. So, and just because the people were doing it before, when it changes hands in the cells, you want to make sure you're legal and everything that's there was done the right way, because somebody can always call the zoning office and complain that you're living in a shed and you're not supposed to be because it's against the zoning, and then you'll have to take it out of there or convert it to a shed and not be able to stay in it. So you just want to cover yourself. It's a big investment when you're making a purchase like this. 55,000 is not pocket change. That's quite an investment, and you want to buy something that you're going to be able to use the way you want to use it. So it's always good to make sure you check all that up front. Um, this one only has 4 saves so far, so not a ton of action. But yeah, so that one looks pretty good too. Depending on the zoning, you just have to watch. And I think these ones were listed before. These ones have been about here a while, so that's 11 days. So maybe the new is 2 weeks. Maybe I lied. It's because this is 11 days. I was thinking it was 7. So this one is 40 acres for 58.9. This is in the Newberry area. I think this is in between Newberry and like Tequamanon Falls, if I remember correctly. There's no power on this stretch of road that it seems like for some reason. So yeah, it's quite a bit north of Newberry, closer to the falls, which is nice. This one, I believe, would be seasonal. This is the one that's swamp and bog. So yeah, not a lot going on. I can't believe it's the end of September already. There's going to be properties still coming up, people who may have life changes or something and decide to try and sell property at the last minute. But yeah, not a lot going on. Remember to check the wetlands map for any property that you're looking at to see what the wetland situation is, especially if you're wanting to build on it, as you're not allowed to build on wetlands. There's a lot of restrictions. And if you're putting in a septic tank, also the ground in wetlands area is protected, and there's a lot of things you have to do that will cost you more money in some cases, where you have to put in like the above ground septic system or whatever. I don't have any experience with that, but just something to realize, like you want to make sure if you're going to build, the land is good for that. And if you see land that you're interested in, you could always do that research later. You can make an offer contingent upon making sure that you can have a septic, making sure you can build, um, walking the property if you're not able to do that before. You make an offer. You can always make your offer contingent upon these things. Um, and I would recommend to get in touch with a local realtor. I am not a realtor. I just like looking at properties. It's my hobby, something I like to do. And we recently bought 100 acres in the UP, and it's been fun looking, and I can't stop. So get in touch with a realtor, and they can email you every time a new listing comes out, which is helpful. I have a realtor that's doing that, that did that when I was looking, that would send, they have an automated system. Anytime anything new's coming, it spits out, based on your criteria, it spits out an email to you, which is nice. Um, but yeah, so that is all I had today. I hope you get out there and find your forest. Thanks. Have a good day.